Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is Suitcase Nukes 2023. Now, let me say, we do not have a second confirming witness on this yet. But if it is of God, He'll confirm us. We don't have to worry. Today, I want to talk more about the Suitcase Nukes. Before I get started, I need to tell you that last night I was impressed that I need to say this. I don't want you to get the wrong impression. This is a prophecy or a warning program. We do not give financial advice ever on this program. Now, 2010, Shane Warren was told that silver will skyrocket far more than gold. I didn't say that. I'm simply quoting what he said. Nor do I promise that silver is ever going to skyrocket far more than gold. If it is coming, we do not know when. So please don't think that I'm telling you to buy gold or silver as financial advice any more than I ask you to ask Jesus to forgive your sins. Now, and that's forever and ever and ever, and all the programs, past, present, and future. I just want to make that clarification. It just kept coming to my heart, so there you go. There I say it. Now, so let me back up. This is what we covered yesterday, only I'm not going to cover the whole thing. It's 10 pages long. This is Vicky Goforth Parnell, Dream 5/30/23. She said the dream started with her being in a metropolitan city with skyscrapers standing proudly against the skyline. I see water in the distance, meaning it's near the ocean. Suddenly there in the sky, I see a flash of light in midair above the skyline. It's Manhattan, New York. The small flash of light begins to grow, spreading outward. As it does, a ring made of the colors of red, yellow, white with traces of orange begins spreading out. It looks like the colors found in fire. It expands outward, and as it goes into billowing black, dark clouds, continue to grow and forms into a mushroom cloud. I do not believe that this is the Russian attack that Dmitry Duduman was told about. I think that this is Suitcase Nukes. And we have 33 different prophecies saying that there are suitcase nukes out there. Let's go on, though. Skipping a bunch. We shall take as many of you out as we can, so you can better stay as close to your Nazarene God as you can. Then the scene changed. I'm in Detroit, Michigan, walking through a deserted street. A newspaper blows at my feet, partially torn. The front page reads, Detroit, you're next. Part of the article is missing with the full date, but the year I see is 2023. Now again, we do not have a confirming witness. The Bible says in the mouth of two or three witnesses, let a thing be established. We have 33 prophecies saying suitcase nukes are coming. This is the only one that says it's coming in 2023, and Prophet Leslie says God never gives dates. So I'm letting you make the decision. I think it would be better to err on the side of caution than to just blow it off and say it's nothing. Continuing with what Parnell said, do not be saddened, daughter, but do pray for these people in their cities. War comes to your nation. You shall go into captivity before this year fully ends. Not all, but some, and it shall begin. Now, I'm going to skip on to the other things I want to cover today. 11/10/22. You be ready, or Byron Searle had this vision. While in prayer today, I had a vision where I was taken up above the United States. The first city I saw was New York City. Okay, that's kind of a confirming thing here. And I've had a lot of people say New York City is one of the long list of cities. A very large city, as I'm looking down, I hear the Lord say, is full of every abomination known to man. Suddenly, I see 8 bright flashes. I can see these flashes form a large circle all around the main financial district. I see 8 mushroom clouds rising above. Everything that had been within that circle is now gone. All is rubble and fire. I ask, what caused this? He said, suitcase nuclear devices. All 8 had exploded at the same time. My suspicion is that this is what Vicky's talking about too. As I'm still watching the scene, suddenly I see, I probably shouldn't say that, fly right past me. I saw a bull fly right past me on fire. My attention is then turned from New York City towards the west, and I'm now above Chicago. Again, I see more bright flashes. This time there are 5 of them, and I see the mushroom clouds. I'm then turned towards the south, taken to Miami with 2 bright flashes. West to Dallas, where I see 2 more bright flashes, and I'm going to show you another one from Jason Meeks, where he also saw 2 suitcase nukes go off in the DFW area, one in Fort Worth and one in Dallas. From there, I brought further west to see 2 more bright flashes in Las Vegas. On westward, I see Los Angeles, where I see 8 bright flashes. Then up north, Seattle, 4 bright flashes, mushroom clouds. The vision ended, the Lord spoke. My son, you have seen what evil of this world have planned to bring about my judgments on Mystery Babylon. The cities represent the centers of commerce and financial glory. They represent the sin and the decadence of a nation that refuses to repent. These suitcase nukes devices have been in this nation for many years. That's exactly what I'm about to tell you that Stanislav Lunev said. Many years waiting my timing. I say repent now, for when these explode, you will be standing before me in an instant. Repent now. Though these bombs are not big, they are very powerful. All within the area will be destroyed. My hand has held them back, men who detonate these devices, but no more. These evil men are now planning to destroy this nation and bring this people into captivity. My son, shout to my people, repent daily, and have your hearts in order, for I am coming very soon to gather my children unto me as a hen gathers her chicks. He does not believe in a pre-trib rapture. War is now here, even though you do not see the destruction, but the enemy is in the camp, meaning, I believe the southern border primarily, but also the northern border, and perhaps even airlines too. Many people that are not believing in our Constitution, don't want to see a Christian nation continue, are within our borders to destroy us. Let's go on. February 2013, Doug Metzger was invited, made a Prophecy Club DVD, which you can watch instantly at watchprophecyclub.com, or you can order the DVD at prophecyclub.com. Doug Metzger made a Prophecy Club DVD called Will You Survive America's Fall, in which he reported he was shown a vision of suitcase nukes hitting the following cities: Los Angeles, New York, Las Vegas, Washington, D.C., Chicago, San Francisco, Houston, Seattle, Orlando, Dallas, Atlanta, and Denver. Then, 2005, former Congressman Kurt Weldon, vice chairman of the House Armed Services Committee then, uncovered a plot to set explosions in 10 cities. He couldn't get the authorities to act, so he wrote the following book, of which I have a copy. He said he was told that the 10 cities would be Valdez, Alaska, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Boston, New York, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Chicago, Miami, Houston. Are you hearing the same cities? You should be. Then, back in 1998, we had a Russian defector called Stanislav Lunev come and speak to the Prophecy Club. He asked if he could wear sunglasses and a hat, and he did, but this is a picture of him that he released later. He was a Russian military officer, the highest-ranking one to ever defect from Russia, and he made a Prophecy Club DVD. You can also watch instantly at watchprophecyclub.com. Let me just say, prophecyclub.com is the best deal going. $20 a month or $200 a year, you can watch some 300 different DVDs. Somebody emailed me the other day and says, this is amazing. You guys were talking about this 20 years ago, and there's some people just now discovering stuff you guys were talking about 20 years ago. And I said, yep, watchprophecyclub.com, great deal. Anyway, the name of the DVD is called Russian Defector Warns America. He says in this video that there was 50 lost in Russia suitcase nuclear bombs that were smuggled into the United States. Then Francis Kruger comes along, sees a vision in 2018. I was standing on a high mountain with some other people in the Ozark Mountains, and I looked forward northbound. I could see all the way up to the border of Canada. I looked to my right, and I could clearly see New York. I looked lower to the right side, Florida. The left side, California Pacific coastline. Suddenly, I saw at the 1 o'clock position a tall gray plume of smoke twirling from the ground. In other words, when you see the telephone pole with a mushroom on top, that's caused by superheated air, and that's the signature that it is nuclear, not a normal bomb. Smoke twirling from the ground up to the sky. Suddenly, a big modern city disappeared. New York. Suddenly, I heard millions and millions of screams of men, women, and children. Going counterclockwise, I saw another gray, huge plume of smoke start to rise from the center. It was Chicago, or some other city. I heard the terrifying screams. I'll skip on. No sooner than that, at the 11 o'clock position, San Francisco. I'll skip on. Suddenly, another huge plume, Los Angeles, skipping. East Coast all the way to the California coast. Suddenly, I heard the screaming of one woman. Mississippi. The river of blood. I saw a river of blood. I looked down. I didn't see any woman, but I could clearly hear this woman. Where was she? Now let's jump to Mike Edwards, 1970. I was 8 years old. I was at my grandparents' farm in Grandview, Texas. I saw a vision of an explosion of an enormous size over Dallas. That's the third person sees it over Dallas. Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, I saw the blast expand and come over my house. It was a green, acid-looking cloud. The house was covered in smoke, ash, and fallout. I knew instinctively that it was a Russian-Soviet attack on our country. Today I understand it to be a vision from the outer blast zone of a large nuclear blast. This vision terrified me. May we all repent. All right, let's skip on. May 5th, 2003, Michael Boldea, grandson of Dmitry Duduman, had a dream. Dmitry Duduman came to him in the dream. And he says, I was shown suitcase nukes going off in California, Illinois, Michigan, Arizona, Washington State, Florida, and New York. I saw the outline of states taking place. Small lights began to flicker on and off in some of the states. I recognized California, Illinois, Michigan, Arizona, Washington State, Florida, and New York. The light was rhythmic, almost like a homing beacon, constant in its progression. I continued watching the lights go on and off, waiting for something else to happen, but nothing did. So I said, I don't understand. The angel said, these are the places. This would be Dmitry Duduman that came to him. These are the places where those who were sent here long ago to bring fear and cause chaos have situated themselves. That's the same thing the other guy said. They lie in wait, planning and plotting destruction. They are as coiled serpents, looking forward to the hour when they will be loosed upon this nation. And apparently, that hour is close. Might even be 2023. If God's children pray, once more he will delay the season of sorrows yet to come. He has delayed it at least 3 times by my count, and truth be known, it's probably more like 5 times. But it may be, as Vicky was told, no more delays. Then let's jump to another dream given to Michael Boldea, 2004. Suddenly the snake seemed out of nowhere. A brown snake lunged at the eagle and bit down on its left wing. The snake's strike was very quick and precise. The eagle reacted without delay, clawing and pecking at the snake, cutting deep wounds in its underbelly, trying to defend itself and ward off the serpent. Just as it seemed the eagle was winning the battle, the serpent was retreating. Another serpent appeared. Red and black diagonal stripes covering its body without hesitation struck out at the eagle's right wing, biting down. Refusing to release, after a momentary tug of war, the serpent tore off flesh and the feathers, leaving a large wound on the eagle's right wing. The second bite was much worse than the first. Now, he's about to tell you the first bite was 9/11. The second bite, we believe, is Suitcase Nukes. Then a serpent much larger than the previous 2, made of many colors or many nations, slithered toward the eagle, opened its jaws, lunged, taking the whole of the eagle's head in its mouth before biting down. This has been revealed to you, the angel has said, that you may know that the first bite has been 9/11. The second bite is yet to come, and the third will be its destruction. One thing I feel I need to share with you is that the second bite seemed to come from an unexpected place. I believe it's talking about suitcase nukes that were actually smuggled into America back in the late 80s, early 90s. One prophecy said there's 35 of them here. Stanislav Lunev said he helped them smuggle or helped them find places to hide them, 50 of them. So, nevertheless, 1 or 2 going off would change our world. January 9, 2005, I asked the Lord that night, so what is the next 9/11? I was shown it would be a series of suitcase nuclear explosions all across America, which would be sophisticated bombs by sophisticated experts, several cities, one hitting a regional bank, destroying their records and their backups. This would put billions of dollars into the hands of the international bankers while throwing the U.S. economy into a freefall. Also, you can watch this at watchprophecyclub.com. If you want to do something about it, you can go to prophecyclub.com. You can sign up to become a Fast Gap member where you fast and pray for our nation each week. City-killing suitcase nuke, Pastor Massey, 7/24/16. I dreamed someone was screaming. Remember you told us about these things, referring to a nuclear explosion. I saw through my window a nuclear explosion. It was a large, city-killing explosion. I believe he's talking about a suitcase nuke, because if it's a large nuke, there's nothing left of the city. I saw a large mushroom cloud, and I felt heat waves coming toward us. We thought about going down to the basement. I told my wife to lay down on the floor. Her and I laid down. It was exploding in the downtown. I went on the floor and felt like we were going home. I prayed, Lord, forgive us. We don't want to miss anything. So, Bible says the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses let a thing be established. Here it is, more. Jason Meeks, arrests lead to suitcase nukes. The dream starts out, we stopped at an ATM machine to get some cash out for the toll road. I put the card in, got $20 out, and ended the transaction, but realized I didn't get enough. Put the card back in, $20 out, but now the fee was $42, meaning that when we switch from coins and paper over to the digital currency, may be happening that fast. And it may be that that is when the arrests take place. I'm just guessing. And if it is, that also may be associated with the suitcase nukes. See, they don't want to lose their cash cow. The evil elite don't want to lose control of our financial system, and that's what it is. They think they're bringing into a digital currency system, which they're going to be in control of. Other people say that's not true. Now, we all know that eventually the devil's going to get control of it because it's going to be the mark of the beast system. But let's go on. As we drove back home, we stopped by a major bank. The television screens were showing massive arrests. An alert went out on my cell phone that DJT was assuming control as the new president. I expected people to be rioting and looting, but they were happy, celebrating in the streets almost like VJ Day in World War II. In the dream, a man came to me and started crying, saying how all his evil bosses had been arrested and rounded up, telling me he was now in charge of the bank. He was a Christian and had been praying for this for years. As people took to the streets in victory and celebration, we joined in. We jumped on the back of a fire truck to catch the ride and the parade because the streets were so full you couldn't walk. Everything was amazing. Then I heard a huge explosion. A suitcase nuke had been detonated within the city. I didn't see the explosion, but I felt the shock wave. We jumped off the truck, ran into the restaurant to hide. Could it be that since the Federal Reserve has already announced the start of their new FedNow happened in April and is supposed to be implemented in July? Could it be that this is all about to happen by June and July? Okay, so if it is, I suggest you go to empshield.com, get you one of these, put it on the car. Green goes to the car body. The red goes to the red side. Black goes to the black side of your battery. Peel it off, stick it under the hood. 10 minutes. They got video shows you how to do it. empshield.com. Use the promo code Prophecy. Helps your Prophecy Club. Get you a discount. I recommend you get one. They got them for your cars, one for your house. If you want your car doors to open, if you want your car to start, if you want things in your house that have electronics, the computer chips not to be fried, it may be that it's coming in June or July. Now, I didn't say it is, but if you put 2 and 2 together, it's enough to make us act and get prepared. Let's go on. Anita Walker, 21. The TV came on and made the sound of the emergency broadcast system like in the 1980s. You know, with that emergency beeping sound, we remember the voice came across. We have a tragic news, JB. I'm not even going to say it. The vision shifted to KH and MP plotting how KH would become number one and P would become number two. Then they could be put in place all the bad things they'd planned. It went silent. The vision shifted back to the voice saying, America will not go without a president due to the EF of 2020. DJT is now your number one, and the vision ended. I dare not say all of those words. You got to stop and read them. Then let's jump to a midnight cry. It will start the second half of 2022. Now, I know some of you are going to read this and you say, yeah, but they missed it. Wait a minute. Look close. I don't think they missed it. I woke to a dream that I've had in the past. A beautiful sky, white clouds all over. Suddenly, the sky went black. Massive pandemonium, chaos, mayhem with dead bodies, blood all over. I heard the words, it will begin the second half of 2022. Now, if you want to believe that that's a miss, go right ahead. But it didn't say it was going to happen. It didn't say it's going to conclude. It says it begins. So let me ask you this. Do you think a lot of trouble began in 2022 that may be concluding in 23, 24, 20? I think so. Matter of fact, I'd even say the real trouble started with the pandemic. That's when our world really started changing. But let's go on. I said, Lord, I need a confirmation. The very next day, I got the exact same dream plus one. I heard it will begin the second half of 2022. It was representing civil war. I'll let you read the rest. Let's go on. December 30, 2021, the Lord gave me the same dream that He'd given me on the 26th and 27th. Beautiful blue sky, clouds, flips, black, mayhem, pandemonium, dead bodies. The words, it begins the second half of 2022. Well, just because it begins doesn't mean that it ends then. Let's go on. Dana Coverstone, 2020. I know you want to say, well, he missed it. No, I believe he heard from God. I think it's a warning that we have tried to pray away. We've definitely tried to pray for a delay. And it may very well be that our delay prayers were answered. But just like Vicky Parnell said in her vision I read yesterday, no more delays. If that's true, this may be about to happen. I saw long food lines. I saw people waiting for what seemed like hours standing in line and not in cars throughout the nation. I cannot stress for you enough, it's very important that you make certain you have food. Now, yes, you can buy grocery food, but cans only last a couple of years. And the grocery food, a lot of that doesn't even last 2 years. But you can go to josephskitchen.com. You can get yourself a machine package that's all the wherewithal to prepare it. And then you decide how much food you want. 1 person 1 year, 2 people 1 year, 4 people 1 year, 6 people 1 year. Most of your long-term emergency storage food, $9,000 or $10,000 to feed 1 person for a year. At Joseph Kitchen, you can feed your family for about $1,000 per person per year. The machine package is the wherewithal to take the wheat berries, that's what they don't call them seeds, call them berries, put them into a grinder, 30 seconds later you have whole wheat flour. Put it into the bread machine along with 6 other ingredients, push about 2 hours, 20 minutes later, you have nice, hot, wholesome whole wheat bread. Your children will love it. Your wife will actually eat it, and you don't have to stand on their chest and force it down them. It's good. It's good for them. It's what Pharaoh and Joseph fed the world with for 7 years. josephskitchen.com. And I think if you use Prophecy Club as a promo code, someplace in there, there's a discount. Anyway, let's go on. Dana Coverstone, 2020. I saw long food lines. I saw people waiting for what seemed like hours standing in line, not in cars. Why weren't they in cars? There's like 3 people saw the cars won't open, the cars won't start. Why? Because an EMP pulse fries the computer chips and that car's dead. You'd have to replace every computer chip in the car to get it running again, and that's pretty much near impossible. And not in cars throughout the nation. I saw ships and ports on the east and west coast. That has already happened. That's what makes me think this is of God, It just was delayed at our prayers. Thank you, Lord. And the West Coast, and they were just sitting idle. There was nothing moving at sea. I saw a headline that said the Baltic Dry Index is dead. It never got totally dead. Again, that's what it was. It was a warning to pray. We prayed. Remember the solemn September assemblies? Not one, but two of them. I saw what looked like shopping malls that had been converted into shelters or living quarters, like after Hurricane Katrina and the people sheltered in football stadiums. The businesses in those shopping malls were all shuttered. I saw people on cots. I saw food outreaches. I saw people who were misplaced. This was not like a homeless shelter. This was like something big and bad had happened to America, and the people were in shelters. Are you listening? What does it take? What does it take to convince us that God is talking if we'll just listen? I continued to see shuttered properties. I saw people in homes wearing coats. Why coats? Because the electricity is out. They have no natural gas, have no way to warm their home. I saw people in homes wearing coats, closed curtains. Why were the curtains closed? Because there was mayhem outside, and they were afraid somebody would just walk up, see them in the house, break in the house, and have their way with them. People inside their homes looking out at what's going on. When I look at people looking out their curtains, I see more of this dark, gray, snow-like stuff on the road. It's not snow, my brothers and sisters. It's called fallout. And it only comes from a nuclear detonation, such as a suitcase nuke or one of the big powerful ones that Russia's going to one day use on us. I see more of this dark, gray, snow-like stuff on the road. It wasn't white, pure snow like after a first fresh snowfall. Then I saw headlines reading, "Nationwide outages plague the Southwest." Are you listening? I'd recommend that you go to solarsurge.net. Contact Joe, good friend of mine. Helped me to get solar for my house. I absolutely love it. Matter of fact, I got a little app on my phone. I just love it. Like right now, my solar system, as I'm doing this, is pulling, make it update here, 8.8 kilowatts out of the, 11.6 kilowatts. My home is using 6.4 because the wife's running the dishwasher, the washing machine, and the dryer, and of course I'm recording this. And it's putting 15, now it just dropped, it just updated. So I guess they turned it off. So it's pulling 16.5 from the sun, 1.9 in the house, and it's storing 4.7. That's a lot of electricity. The batteries are charged at 57%, and they'll be at 100% before the day is up, unless there's a bunch of clouds coming. Anyway, let's back to this. Another headline said, Americans don't know who to blame for the darkness. No, because they hadn't been listening to Prophecies Club. They don't know about the suitcase nukes. And even when they happen, they still won't know. Some of the darkness stretched into Canada. It stretched north into Canada because not everywhere. And I saw America with lights flickering. It was like the whole country, outlining the United States, including Alaska and America. I saw vultures with food hanging out of their mouth. These vultures were heavy and fat and rotting food hanging out of their mouths. Why? Because the electricity went off. And about 24 hours later, all of the refrigerators and freezers reached room temperature. Then everybody has to gorge what's left. So you got 2 or 3 days of food, maybe 5 days. And then you got to just throw it out because it's no good. And that's the reason he sees the vultures. You know, if we can just believe God loves us enough to warn us that he's talking through people that he'll speak to, we can get prepared for this. I saw the St. Louis Arch. I saw people standing under the arch wearing very expensive business suits, expensive watches. At their feet were large briefcases. He did not know about Suitcase Nukes when he had this dream. I told him about them. Large briefcases reminded me of nuclear suitcases. He actually said the word suddenly. All of their alarms went off. They grabbed their briefcases and jumped into black SUVs and drove off in all directions. I believe that the suitcase nukes will mostly be set to go off at the same time. In other words, there's no warning. It's not like a pop, 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 pop. In most cases, they all go off at the same time. Now, Coverstone again, 2020. I saw a calendar turn to the month of November. Now, again, you can think that he missed it here. I do not think he missed it. I think it was a warning. I think that we have been able to delay it. Thank you, Lord, for the delay. I wish we could pray it away. November, the shadows flickered all over. I saw a light in the sky, a very large, bright light, then darkness. What happened? Suitcase Nuke. I began to make out through the dawn's haze and the fog that Americans were in emergency shelters. I began to make out through the dawn. There seemed to be snow on the ground. There it is again. It was dirty gray, almost like ash. It wasn't almost like ash. It was ash. It's called fallout. There were people huddled together, individuals lying on cots, suitcases, all over the place. Desperate looks on the faces of people. Why? Because God hit America because of our sin, and there's about to be sports stadiums filled with crying people that are now deciding they do need Jesus. And you and I want to be there. I want to be one of the speakers, one of the organizers, and I want you there as one of the people assisting, doing whatever your hand can find to do. And that's the reason you want to be a part of this Prophecy Club, so that we can say, okay, we're having a meeting at a sports stadium. If you want to help, be there here at such and such time. And maybe you're going to be praying for people. Maybe you're an usher. Maybe you're people at the door. I don't know. But it's coming. I don't want to see the Suitcase Nukes, but I do want to see people saved. Sad to say, that's what it's going to take. It took me about 20 minutes to make these 2 loaves in my kitchen at an ingredient cost of about $12 each. In a time of food shortage and emergency, I'm going to cut each one of these loaves into 14 slices. Eat a slice in the morning and the afternoon, I'll be satisfied. You want long-term food storage? You want to cut your food costs? Here it is. Eat 2 whole wheat bread slices daily for about a year for about $800 each. JosephKitchen.com's wheat berries come in a nitrogen-infused 7-gallon pail for long-term storage. Most other emergency food costs about $10,000 per person per year. That's right, about $10,000 per person per year. But at Joseph Kitchen, you could do it for about $1,000 per person per year. Now, to get started at josephkitchen.com, you're going to need a machines package. That's going to give you the grinder, the bread machine, the knife slicer, all you need to make bread, and then you decide how much food you want to get. You want food 6 people 1 year, 4 people 1 year, 2 people 1 year, or just 1 person for a year, all at josephkitchen.com. About $1,000 per person per year at josephskitchen.com. Use the promo code Prophecy Club. Get you a $50 discount. josephskitchen.com, promo code Prophecy Club for a $50 discount on your first order. Next is, I'll send you to EMPShield.com. If you use the promo word Prophecy, you get a $50 discount. What is that? Well, it looks like this. This is the one that goes into a car, okay? And you put the red wire to the red side of the battery, you put the black wire to the black side of the battery, and the green one attaches to the body of the car. Then you peel it off right back here. Just peel that off, stick it inside of the engine compartment of your car. And the whole point is when the electricity goes off or when some kind of a suitcase nuke or a nuclear device goes off, this is supposed to be able to stop that device from destroying every computer chip in your car. Because if every computer chip is destroyed in your car these days, you couldn't possibly replace them all. Throw the car away. So, EMPShield.com, promo code Prophecy. Terry Saka, Cornerstone, AssetMetals.com. So why should people go online or call you today?
Seymour Hersh, an amazing investigative journalist, laid out the case that the United States is the one that blew up the Nord Stream pipelines, hurting our very own allies. That is a nation that is desperate because their currency is on the verge of losing reserve status. That's not good for a United States dollar and why we better be protected.
Terry Saka, Cornerstone, AssetMetals.com. Give him a call or go online today. Cornerstone, AssetMetals.com. When a nuclear device is detonated, the dust settles on everything. You breathe it, absorb it. You cannot stop it. And when you breathe it or absorb it, it floods your thyroid with bad iodine, killing your thyroid and killing you. But there is a solution. I just went out to my freezer. This is mine. I keep it out there. I've had it for several years. And it says, this is potassium iodate. As a matter of fact, I keep it in the freezer, and I keep them in a Ziploc bag, just like this. This is my personal supply we keep in the freezer. So there you go. Now, it's $30 a bottle. If you order 5 bottles, you get an extra bottle free. You need 1 bottle per exposure per person, and it has the instructions on it. But anyway, I would suggest you go to prophecyclub.com, and let me just tell you, we've only got 100 bottles. Now, we've already made plans to get another 1,000 bottles in. Ben's this is coming up. Right now, we only have 100. So my suggestion is you get over to prophecyclub.com and you get your bottles ordered real quick. You might even be a part of the 100 that we have. And if not, then another week or so after that, we will get some more bottles, get it out to you. $30 a bottle, order 5 and get a 6th one free. Here it is, potassium iodate. Is your life worth $30? I mean, you may as well have it. I mean, spend $30. Spend $30. So you get a suitcase nuke in the area, something like that. Not worried.